Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting through the noise. We're diving deep into something really crucial.
Yeah. What's on the agenda?
Well, it's for anyone dreaming of building their own company,
Right.
or even just stepping into a big leadership role.
Okay. Entrepreneurship. Leadership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the unvarnished realities of it. Forget the glossy success stories you see everywhere for a minute.
Right. Because the source we're leaning on today, it comes from a place of pretty raw, honest survival.
That's the one. We're getting into Ben Horowitz's book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things, a CEO's survival guide. It's kind of legendary, actually.
It really is. And it's not like a blueprint for guaranteed success, is it? It's more of a super candid manual for those moments when everything feels like it's falling apart.
Totally. And our mission for you, the listener, today is, well, to give you a shortcut, a real shortcut to understanding the true challenges.
The stuff that gets left out sometimes.
Exactly. The emotional stuff, the messy human aspects that, typical business advice often just kind of glosses over. So if you're a prospective business owner thinking about taking that leap, this deep dive, it should give you some really vital insights into the real emotional landscape you'll face.
Okay, let's do it. Let's pull back that curtain.
All right. So Horowitz, he doesn't mess around with platitudes. He hits you right away with something most business books kind of avoid.
Which is?
That the hard things, they aren't really about perfecting your strategy or, crunching numbers on spreadsheets.
Okay, so where does the hard work lie, according to him?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. He says the real work isn't in the logic. It's in the unpredictable chaos of human nature.
Human nature. Okay. Like
Yeah.
What specifically?
Think about it. Scenarios like having to fire your best friend. Ouch.
Yeah, that's rough.
Or laying off employees you personally hired and know. Or having to stand up in front of your whole team and explain why the company might actually not survive the next quarter.
Right. There's no script for that.
Exactly. He emphasizes there's just no neat playbook for those moments.
And that ties into his concept of this struggle, doesn't it?
It does. Tell us about that.
Well, he describes it as that really agonizing period. It's when you start questioning everything, like, why did I even start this company?
Sounds familiar to some, I bet.
Definitely. It's when your employees might think you're, not telling them the whole truth, and your investors might be looking at you thinking, is this person competent?
Yeah, the pressure cooker.
Totally. And he argues it's not just a bad patch, it's almost a universal experience if you're trying to build something meaningful.
So struggling is normal, even necessary.
He kind of suggests that, like if you're not struggling, maybe you're not pushing hard enough, or maybe you're just not seeing things clearly.
Wow.
So it raises a big question for anyone listening who's on this path, right? Are you actually prepared for that level of emotional intensity? Because it's probably not just a phase you get through.
It's more like a constant state of being, almost.
Could be, a state of growth, maybe.
Okay, so if surviving the struggle takes that kind of grit, Horowitz then says leadership itself isn't static, right? It needs to change.
Absolutely. He makes this really famous distinction between the peacetime CEO and the wartime CEO.
Explain that difference.
Sure. So the peacetime CEO, things are generally going well. They can focus on expanding, on refining the company culture, building the team comfortably. It's about growth.
That was nice.
It does. But then there's the wartime CEO, and that's pure survival mode.
Okay. What does that look like?
Ruthless focus. Really intense decision-making. Everything, absolutely everything, is aimed at just keeping the company alive, keeping its pulse going.
And why is this distinction so vital for new leaders?
Because Horowitz is really clear. Founders have to be able to switch between these modes. Your company's reality changes, sometimes fast.
And if you don't switch? If you try to be peacetime when it's actually wartime?
He warns that's basically a direct path to collapse. You're using the wrong tools for the situation.
He gives an example, right? Steve Jobs?
Yeah, it's a powerful one. He talks about Jobs acting very much like a wartime CEO during Apple's near bankruptcy phase, making those incredibly tough, almost surgical decisions.
To keep it alive.
Exactly. And then only later shifting back to a peacetime approach to scale Apple into the giant it became.
So the message for, the aspiring founder listening is?
It's that your leadership style can't be rigid. It needs to be incredibly fluid, adaptable. Your core values might stay the same, sure, but your tactics, they have to evolve with the battlefield, so to speak.
Makes sense. Now let's talk about teams. Horowitz is pretty blunt about team building, especially executives.
Oh yeah. He says most founders really mess this up. hiring and firing senior people.
What's his advice there? What's the common mistake?
Well, he says don't compromise on actual experience just because you really like someone's culture fit. Get the skills you need.
Okay. And on the firing side?
Fire fast. When it's clear someone isn't working out, especially in a key role, you need to act decisively, even if it feels, agonizingly personal.
He also warns about loyalty, right? Especially with friends.
He does, pulls no punches there. Says loyalty can really blind your judgment, particularly when you're thinking about promoting friends into big roles they might not be ready for.
What's the cost if you get this wrong? If you hesitate?
He argues it just kills your momentum. Hiring executives too late or firing them too late, it can gut the company's progress.
And it's not just hiring and firing, is it? He talks about training, too.
Right. And this is interesting. He insists training people is your job as the leader. Even senior hires.
Even senior hires. Don't they come with experience?
They do, but he warns if you don't actively teach them your specific culture and, crucially, how decisions actually get made within your company.
What happens?
You get politics. Politics instead of actual problem solving. People maneuvering instead of collaborating based on shared understanding.
So it's not micromanagement.
No, he frames it as leadership, setting the context. It requires having a clear, repeatable way to bring people in and evaluate how things are going, building that shared playbook.
Okay, moving on to decision-making itself. Being the leader, especially the founder, means facing incredibly tough calls.
Yeah, Horowitz paints a pretty stark picture here. Situations where you're forced to choose between really painful options.
Like what?
Like maybe losing key team members versus losing critical customer trust, or choosing between keeping the company alive financially versus preserving precious equity for the early team.
No easy choices there.
None. And that's where his famous line comes in. There are no silver bullets, just lots of lead bullets.
Meaning?
Meaning it's rarely about finding one magic solution. It's usually just a series of hard, heavy decisions you have to make, one after another.
So fundamentally, leaders are paid to decide when there isn't a perfect option.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And what really stands out, I think, something every prospective leader should really absorb, is his guide for handling layoffs.
Yes. The really hard stuff. How does he say to do it?
With dignity. He advises being swift, being decisive. But crucially, taking full responsibility yourself. Don't blame the market or external factors, even if they contributed. Own the decision.
And treat people
like humans. Offer real help, real support. Preserve their dignity through the process.
Okay.
He's really emphatic that while these moments absolutely drain you emotionally, how you handle them, that defines your leadership legacy. It's a true test of character when you're under that kind of fire.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things Horowitz talks about that feels incredibly relatable is the loneliness of being the CEO.
Oh, definitely. He's incredibly open about it. The anxiety, the sleepless nights.
Feeling like a fraud sometimes. Imposter syndrome.
Totally. Even when things are going well. Facing betrayal, dealing with that constant gnawing self-doubt. He says it's a very solitary position.
And he admits something quite profound about managing that, doesn't he?
He does. It's a striking admission. He says, by far the most difficult skill I learned as a CEO was the ability to manage my own psychology.
Wow. Not strategy, not finance, but managing his own mind.
Exactly. Which really forces you, the listener, to ask, how will you manage that immense psychological toll? It's not just about business smarts, it's about mental resilience.
So what does he suggest? How do you cope?
Find a support system, a robust one. He mentions mentors who've, been through a peer group of other CEOs who actually get the unique pressures, or even professional therapy.
It's not weakness, it's strategy.
Absolutely. A critical tool just for survival, let alone success.
He also touches on giving feedback. Right,
yeah.
And managing up.
Yeah, the essential but often really uncomfortable art of giving honest feedback. And getting it, too. Especially getting it from your team upwards towards you.
Good feedback isn't always nice feedback.
Exactly. But it's necessary. He gives some practical tips on how to deliver direct, actionable feedback, how to genuinely encourage that upward flow of truth, and really cultivate a no-politics zone.
Where truth beats hierarchy.
Precisely. Where people feel safe telling you what you need to hear, not just what they think you want to hear.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the final takeaway on the CEO's job, according to Horowitz?
Ultimately, he concludes it's not really about being universally liked. No. It's about making those tough calls, the necessary sacrifices, doing whatever it takes to ensure the company survives and eventually thrives.
He has that blunt quote, doesn't he?
He does. Being a good company doesn't matter when you're not a company anymore.
Stark. A stark reminder that survival really is job one.
It is.
Okay, so as we finish this deep dive, what really stands out to me consistently is just how much of real leadership isn't the stuff you see in the business plan.
Right. Not the charts and graphs.
No, it's about navigating these huge human and emotional challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Horowitz gives such a grounded, almost like raw perspective on the journey you might be considering.
He really does. And his final takeaways, they really capture the essence of it all, I think. Like, survival fundamentally beats trying to be perfect. Leadership, at its core, it's about making impossible choices when you don't have all the info or ideal options. And for you, the listener, thinking about becoming a business owner, understanding these messy parts.
The layoffs, betrayal.
Yeah, the fear, the constant struggle. Knowing about them isn't a sign you're going to fail. It's just recognizing what's inherently, unavoidably part of the CEO's journey.
It normalizes the difficulty, in a way.
Exactly.
And maybe the most sobering thought from Horowitz to leave everyone with, the one that really makes you think about the long game.
Go on.
The hard thing about hard things is that they never get easier.
Oh, yeah, that lands.
It's not about the problems vanishing, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's about you having to grow to meet them continuously.
A profound thought. Something definitely to mull over as you embark on that entrepreneurial path.